All right, everyone, it has been about, well, I have it right here. It's been 227 miles with this RadRunner, and I've got a lot of thoughts. Everybody, welcome back. Today, we're talking about a 200-mile review, more specifically a 227-mile review. So there's like 3 or 4 main things I want to talk about. First of all, the pros. What do I love about this bike? Is it my daily driver still? You've seen all my bike reviews. Is this my favorite bike still? Second is, what are the cons? And there are some bad ones. There's some bad things that have happened to this bike that I'm not excited about. And then finally, I want to talk about upgrades. And do I wish that I would have gotten the Plus version of this bike? So we're going to cover all that. Let's get into it. I'm gonna head somewhere where it's not as loud. There's so many cars here. Okay, so the first thing I want to cover is the upgrades, and if I wish I would have went with the Plus version instead of the standard. So as you can see, there's not a ton I've done to this, and it's because I don't feel like I've needed it. I basically just take this for, 15-mile tops rides. So it's been absolutely perfect for me in that sense. I think, let's start with suspension, because that's one of the biggest reasons you'd want to upgrade. I think these big beefy tires really handle anything you're going to go over. Unless you have like a really sensitive like back issue or something, you're going to be fine with this bike. I mean, I go over curbs and stuff with it. It's just totally fine. To be fair, I've not had the Plus, so I don't know if it's that much better, but I have another e-bike with a similar suspension, and really, it's almost annoying. It just doesn't, I don't know. It's fine, basically is what I'm getting at. I don't think you need it. Now, another thing that the Plus bike comes with that I ended up buying is this advanced display. And the main reason I bought it is because I saw a couple of YouTube videos as well as some posts on Reddit about you can technically like jailbreak it and get a little more speed. And I don't really know if that's the case. It seems about the same. Like basically you can set the tire width to make it feel like you can trick the bike into going faster. Or look it up on YouTube, I'm sure you'll find it. I guess it technically goes like 2 miles an hour faster or something. But aside from that, I really like the display. It's nice. Is it worth $100? It's that's all I'll say. Cup holder. It did not come with a cup holder, but I actually really like that. Here in Grand Rapids, we have what's called the White Pine, which is just miles and miles of like a sidewalk trail. And this is really fun to go on a cruise there. And it's nice to hold a beverage, water, of course. And then let's talk what I will probably buy next is some sort of storage. I've taken this a couple times to just get a couple errands because I have time to kill and don't want to take my car, and it's more fun to take the e-bike. So I wish I had a nice basket or maybe that front trunk. I don't know which one I want, and that's the only reason I haven't bought one. Because I like the step-throughness of this bike, so I don't really want that kind of middle storage container. But I also haven't found a basket that I like enough to buy. So that's why I haven't bought it yet. And then the final thing I want to upgrade but haven't is the seat. And now I'm just gonna skip ahead to a con. This pole size is different than standard seats, or at least the seats that I have. So I tried a couple out and I can't fit it in there. Not only that, it's not traditional rails here. You can buy a seat from Rad, but I don't know. Maybe I need to do more research. I know you guys grilled me on that for the last video, so look into it yourself. I just know it's an issue. I wasn't able to swap it easily, so if it's not that easy, therefore it's a problem. I don't know, maybe I'm being grumpy. As for upgrades, that's it though. I don't think I'm missing anything, and I saved so much money by not getting the Plus. If there was like an upgrade to the motor or an upgrade to the battery, it would be worth it, but since it's not, I say get this and then upgrade as you go. It makes so much more sense that way because you need to ride it to know what kind of upgrades you want. Like anytime I want, I can find a suspension that will fit this. Anytime I want, I can buy the storage, I can buy the passenger kit, but I haven't needed it, so I haven't bought it yet. So next, let's talk about what I absolutely love about this bike. And spoiler alert, yes, this is still my favorite e-bike I own, and as you've seen, I've reviewed quite a bit. It's just reliable is what I'll say. So it's reliable. I really like it. As far as like the main build quality, it's sturdy. I feel safe on it. That other e-bike I have, the RadRunner, it's fun, it's great, but it has so many tiny parts that I'm terrified it'll just like lose one of them and I won't notice for a week and then I'll crash and get hurt. I don't feel like that'll happen on this bike. I love the kickstand. I know it's so small, but like it just looks cool. Like I'm a big moped fan. I've owned a bunch of QT50s, some Honda Express, some Hobbits, a Passport, you name it. I've owned it and sold it at least once. So it's the future of mopeds is e-bikes, and I really like this e-bike because it reminds me of the old moped days. It's just fun too. All my friends like it. They love taking it on cruises. I love taking it on cruises. Even just a 20-minute jaunt around town on a summer day, it's just fun. And it's a break from, you know, if I want to exercise, I go mountain biking anyways. When I want to just have fun around town, I grab the e-bike. I'll talk about just a couple random-ish things, like braking. The brakes are really impressive on this bike. I know they're not hydraulic, they're not like mountain bike brakes or anything, but they lock up. I want to talk about the only time I've wiped out on this, and it's because the back brake locked up so tight, and it was one of the first rides I went on this, that I held the back brake and it just totally locked up the tire and I skid out and ate it pretty hard. But it was my own fault. I was going way too fast into a corner and I should have used my front brake. But the brakes are really good. For that same reason though, be careful. The battery, I think, is perfect. It's not amazing by any means, but it does the job. You can get like 20 miles on this is a long ride. You're gonna, like, your butt's gonna hurt. You're gonna be over riding by 20 miles. So it's totally fine. You can go to a buddy's house. Like I go to Brian, co-host of Local Roots podcast. I go to his house all the time and I can charge it up and bring it back home all on a battery, even without charging. So it's great for going to a friend's house in town. Maybe you're just hanging out for the night. I love it. So finally, I know I teased that there is a big con about this bike, and I did run into one. So I took this one's easier to show you than tell you. But the big issue I had is my crank arm threading has been totally stripped. And this basically means this is stuck in here no matter what I do. I've tried everything. And yes, I've used a pedal wrench. Yes, I've done, you name it. And I can't get it out. It is so de-threaded that it'll spin and spin and spin for days. Right now it's stuck, so the opposite of that, but as you see, it can move freely in here, the actual threading part, but it's also just loose and a mess. It's annoying, and it's just happened over time. What I think happened is, remember that wipeout I told you? It did damage this a little bit. So my guess is it knocked it just a bit loose, because I never noticed. Because remember, this happened when I first got the bike, and I didn't notice this until about a week ago. So I think this knocked it loose. It was still pretty tight, but then I rode it, and I rode it, and I rode it, and finally it stripped out. And, you know, I'm not blaming Rad here. I'm blaming the part, and I'm blaming myself. So I didn't even try to get a warranty. Rad sells this arm for only 25 bucks. I'll replace it myself. I'll just take that as a dumb guy tax for ruining my own bike. Now, the only issue I have with it is that, well, technically, these should last a little longer than that. And, you know, a crank arm should be, you know, that's the one thing it should do, in my opinion, is not break, because that's where all the weight is. That's where you're putting in work. You know, I just think it could be a little bit better quality. But other than that, I do think the bike has a great build quality. It's just this part, and I gotta be one of the first people to ever do this. I don't think it's a common issue, but I don't know, it sucks because I can't get this out. So I have to get a new arm and a new pedal no matter what. I'll try, you know, I'll give it a good try later on tonight or something, but trust me guys, I've tried everything. So that's it. I mean, all in all, it's a great bike. If you have any takeaways from this video, it should be this. One, I don't think you should buy the Plus. I think you should buy the regular version and upgrade as you go. That's a really big point I want to make. Two, you're not going to have a bad time with this bike at all. It's impossible. It's a great bike. Three, be careful with it. As you can see, you could break it if you're dumb like me. It just can happen. And finally, if you're still watching this video, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. It's fine either way, but I am actually really close to monetizing my channel. All I need to do is get to 1,000 subscribers because I've already hit watch time, which is pretty cool. It was nothing I ever expected to do, but now that I'm close, I kind of want to do it. So if you can, subscribe. If not, no worries. Hope you enjoy the video. If you want to yell at me, I guess that's what comments are for, because every single video I do, everyone gets mad at me. So I love YouTube. It's great. Bye.